What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in again this week. So if you're anything like me, while you're watching YouTube, you're probably looking into a bunch of audio related videos, which also means that YouTube is bombarding you with a bunch of audio related ads. Whether it's the plug-in video with the hot sauce that you just pour on your music and everything suddenly sounds better.
I put that on everything.
Or the MIDI pack that just has drag and drop chords and tells you that you don't actually need to learn music theory to write music. Anyway, there was one plugin that I came across that I had to look into, and that is the Retro Pong plugin from Lunatic Audio. So in this week's video, I'm going to be doing a brief review on it. But we're going to take this plugin that was not meant for sound design at all, and we're going to see if we can't create something interesting with it. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell so you don't miss out on any future content. And if you'd like to be a part of the Sound Effects Guy Discord server, there will be a link in the description below. So before we dive into trying to make sound effects out of this plugin that is not designed for sound effects, I feel like it's only fair that I give it a proper review. So what this plugin is designed to do is really just kind of give the engineer a break in the middle of the session. Because sometimes, you know, when dealing with clients or artists, your brain starts to melt after hours and hours of session time. So this is a good way to just kind of step back while staying at your desk and just play around and give your brain a chance to kind of cool off. It does have two different modes here, the classic mode and the boosted mode. The difference between the two is classic mode is simply the back and forth ping pong, and boosted mode has power-ups like a crazy ball or multiples or shrinking or expanding the paddles and things like that. It does have capability for MIDI and up to 2 players, but it's just me, so I'll be playing with myself. But one of the cool features, if we just jump in here to a match, is it also moves using your mouse. And so you can just mouse over and play that way. And I am going to go ahead and just intentionally lose this one. But as you can hear, it does have its own sound effects. Now, because it's a plugin, I'm guessing that we can use those sound effects however we'd like. I mean, we're obviously not going to repackage and be like, hey, I made these cool Pong sound effects. But just for the heck of it, we are going to run it through some plugins, and we're really just going to see if we can't create something interesting with this. And that's the whole point of this video, really, is I just wanted to play around with this plugin and see if we couldn't make something cool out of it. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and quit this game. And I am going to create an aux send. So now we should have, okay. So we've got our audio coming through our aux. So now we can go ahead and put plugins on it. Now I have been playing around with this already, so I do have kind of a direction that I wanted to go. And that is to jump in here to our replica. We do need to enable this to be able to stay open while we have replica open. And so the default setting in replica is a little subtle, so you may not be able to hear that depending on what device you're looking at. But if we come in here and we start tweaking these, we can definitely get some interesting effects. Like, we'll try our echo cannon here. we'll turn up our output here. So you can hear that now the audio from this Retro Pong plugin is being affected by this replica plugin. So one of the things that I was playing around with earlier is this dirty oil tank preset. And I found that if we take our depth and we crank it up, and our frequency, crank it up, our mix, crank it up, and then finally our feedback, and crank it up, which is what we as sound designers do. We just grab knobs and twist and see what we can make with it. So I'm going to take this feedback knob and I'm just going to turn it all the way up. And before this starts making noise, I am going to take our output and I'm going to bring it down quite a bit, because what we're going to do is we're essentially going to take the sounds from this plugin and we're going to create a feedback loop. And so just the plugin itself makes noise, because there's always just a nuance of signal. And if we have that feedback all the way up, it's going to keep getting louder and louder. So I'm going to pull the feedback knob back down just to kind of get that audio to die back down. And then we can take the different sound effects, get it to loop back out on itself. And now we have this really interestingly textured feedback loop. So just so this isn't so harsh, I'm also going to come in here to my plugins and we're going to throw a reverb on it. And we're just going to get a massive, large church reverb. And we can go ahead and back up. And so now you can hear that it's kind of washed out quite a bit. But now we're creating a fairly interesting ambience here. And so each one of these sounds that we play is just kind of adding a different texture to that feedback loop, really. And I could sit here and strategically hit different keys and it would make, you know, different sounds inside this texture that we now have going on. But we can actually kind of randomize this now by playing a game. And we're just going to play. See if I can't hit one of these power-ups now. Apparently not. This is not going at all how I planned it. but you get the idea. So something else that we can do now is, since we have this all set up from our aux track, we can actually take the output of this aux track and route it to a stereo audio track. If we set this second audio track to record, essentially what we're doing is we're only recording the output of the aux track. So we're not going to get any of the initial sounds that this plugin is making. We're only getting what's going through the replica and the reverb. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to start recording, and we're just going to keep playing. And to give this a nice gradual fade out, I'm just going to go ahead and take my feedback knob and just slowly start to pull it back down. And then we can stop the recording. So now if we come in here, and just to make sure that we are absolutely only getting what we recorded, so you can hear that, you know, we didn't get any of the initial game audio. We're only getting what we've processed. And you can really do this with any audio source. I just thought it would be really neat to try and do this with the Retro Pong plugin, specifically because it was not made for sound design, and to see if we could sound design with it. All right, guys, so that is going to wrap things up for this week's video. I know it was kind of short and probably pointless, but really I just wanted to have fun playing around with this plugin that was not meant for sound design, to see if I could sound design with it. Don't forget, there's still plenty of time to get your entry in for the I Challenge You to sound design this clip number 9. Again, those entries are due by Friday, March 5th, and I will be doing a live review of the entries I received on Friday, March 12th at 3 p.m. Eastern. Until next time.